Alright, what's up everybody? Everyday Angler here. Today we're going to be tying up the first fly in my simple bass fly series. So this mini series was kind of aimed towards beginner fly tyers that want to tie themselves up some bass flies. So these are going to be as basic as it gets. Well, they'll be pretty basic. And we're tying bass flies, so let's get started. This first one is just a really simple Marabou bait fish with a cone head on it. So let's go. In the vise right now we've got Ahrex Trout Predator size 1, and I'm gonna get this camera zoomed in. Size 1 is kind of like the perfect munchin size when it comes to bass. So, alright, let's get started. This is going to be quick. I've got some cheap cone heads here. These are 6mm cone heads in silver. We're going to put one of those on our hook. And next I've got some 025 lead wire that I'm going to wrap some over here. It's maybe 10 or 12 wraps, I don't really count them. Okay. And what I'm going to do here is I don't have any super glue on me right now, but a little bit of this thick UV I'm gonna adjust my lighting here because this is about to be super exposed. There we go. I'm gonna push these lead wraps up all the way into that cone. I like using this Ahrex hook if you can see how big the eye is on it. And it's just like a regular, it's not like a stinger. It's like an Aberdeen, so it's got that big hook gap, which I want on a small fly like this. Okay, and you have to forgive me because I don't have any white thread right now. I might have some mono. Or you're gonna use black thread. You can use white if you have some, or really any color, because we're not really going to see the thread too much. Okay, now I'm going to come up here and make sure, give a few wraps up here, make sure these lead wraps aren't going anywhere, and work my thread back to right before the bend of this hook. Now we're going to use some white Marabou, and we're going to create a tail with this. It's just a simple bait fish that you can just fill your box up real quick. I like my tail to be at least a body length on this one. We're sticking to the smaller side of bass flies with this fly. So I've taken a few wraps to secure that Marabou. Now I'm going to pull this Marabou back and work my thread back up to right where those lead wraps start. I'm going to twist my Marabou and lay it back down and take wraps right where I left my thread. That'll make sense after I cut it off. If you twist your Marabou like that before you cut it, leaves a cleaner cut. Okay, I'm going to run my thread all the way back down this Marabou. So what we did is we've pretty much given ourselves a more level shank to tie on instead of having these big bumps. Just going to secure that Marabou tail's not going anywhere. The body's going to have plenty of flash, so the body of this fly is gonna have plenty of flash, so I'm not even worried about adding flash to the tail. Now where's that bag? Now we're gonna add some pearl cactus chenille, and I believe this is large. And this is what's gonna make up the body of our fly. And if you saw what I just did there, I just peeled off some of the material off the end of it. Come on. So it leaves me with that little bit of thread to tie on, and I don't bulk up the back of my fly. And again, we're gonna stop where the lead wraps start. Now I'm gonna palmer this. Try not to trap too many materials, but we can always go back with a bobkin and untrap them. And I've got a rotary vise, so give me this. I'll make this quick. Alright, so I don't know if you can barely see that. I've stopped right there where my lead wraps start. I'm going to trap it with my thread. Peel everything back, get some good wraps over it. I just cut my thread there, but... Sorry, I skipped a little bit ahead on you, but for the next part, I've tied in this Foxy Brush. This is just a EP, I guess is the brand brush. It's just Foxy. It's fox hair in white. And I've tied the brush in right there. There's going to be the collar / shoulders. It's going to give this fly just a little bit of a rounder profile, like a creek chub or something. So I'm gonna wrap this up all the way to the head of this cone. Now this is the tricky part. If you don't have if you have some strong thick thread, use it, because your thread will break on this. I'm used to turning the fly like this to me. I'm gonna try to have this facing y'all, because I'm gonna trap this brush, and my thread wraps are gonna be literally like, you're not even gonna be able to see them. They're sneaking up behind this cone, which kind of gives the fly a cool look. And once you've got it secure, use your crappy scissors, cut that off, and with your nail or with a bobkin or something, try to stuff that wire back, because it will cut your thread. And try to zoom in on what I'm doing here. So I'm grabbing the brush back and making my wraps right behind this, so we can see when the fly is done, you can't even see the wraps behind that. It gives it a cool look. And that's it. And that's it, everybody. I guess we can call this thing the Foxy Baitfish, or just the simple bait. It doesn't really have a name. I've tied them with zonker strips as a tail before, and that works really good. Marabou's just a lot easier to work with for beginners. So yeah, I'll tie like 6 of these and just throw them in the box. Perfect size for creeks. And these trout predator hooks are pretty mean on these small flies. So thank you for watching. That's the first in the mini series, easy bass flies, simple bass flies, just a little baitfish pattern. We've got one more baitfish pattern, and then we're gonna get into at least 2 crayfish patterns and some poppers. So just trying to give the beginner fly tyer some ideas just to fill their first bass box up with, and this is the first one. So thank you for watching, everybody, and I'll catch you guys next time on another episode of The Everyday Angler.